Good morning, everyone. Come into the room. Let me turn off my notices. They tend to distract me. Oh, wow. This is amazing, amazing morning. As you come into the room, say hello. You know how we do. Gather your network, share this across your network. Don't grow alone. Me find me will never get you the acceleration that you're looking for. If you're catching this by the replay, hashtag replay. Good morning. Oh my goodness. How are you doing this morning? I am sitting here looking out my window. And out of this window, you can't see what I'm seeing, but walk with me. Outside of my window is a cluster of trees. And because it's full bloom approaching summer, the foliage is thick and rich, and it blocks the next set of buildings. And when I moved in, it was coming out of the winter months. However, even though the trees were bare, there was still a bit of coverage. Luciana, why are you telling me this? I'm glad you asked. Because a lot of people are operating with blocks in their business and they don't even know it. So because they can still see a little bit, they think they have full vision. Now, we can talk about the debt ceiling negotiations. We can talk about all of these so called revelations that are going on during the um, hearings on the Hill. But if anybody knows anything about anything that's going on, none of this stuff is new. The, the cages on the border were built by the Clinton administration initially. The Obama administration continued the building. Deportations have occurred under every administration. Nobody should want open borders. So instead of getting caught up in these talking points, we should look at what's going on and say, where are the problems? And here are the solutions. And how my services fit in the solutions. Foliage, slight coverage, solutions. Foliage, full coverage, solutions. It's the perspective you bring to the topic. It's the perspective you bring to the issue. What solution do you bring to what you're viewing? Every issue being covered in national media, the solution is in my audience. Department of Education is giving a testimony before the Senate. I believe it's later on this week or early part of next week. addressing the learning delays caused by COVID. Now, if you've been tracking the RFPs that have been coming out since, like I do, one, states were tasked with developing a plan 20 years ago during the Obama administration. Everybody was supposed to come up with a plan for remote learning in the event of a terrorist attack. They had to implement it because of COVID. The implementation failed miserably in most areas. The areas that implemented it in a better way were private schools. The public school system failed. Whether you like to hear this or not, public schools failed, and they failed miserably. What needs to happen is my audience is the solution. Who can step up and offer the solution? And do you know how? You don't approach the government in the same manner that you would approach private sector. But through partnership with the private sector, the government can create a solution in the event something like this happens again. And instead of participating in these finger pointing sessions that's currently going on, we can fill the gap and come up with implementable solutions that don't waste tax dollars and save our children in the interim. Through this public-private sector partnership we hear so much about, but quite frankly, just isn't being implemented. That's because there's too much emphasis on one side and not the other. But the solution is in the audience. So what I am putting forth to you this morning in terms of a question is, how are you viewing the information that you're receiving? For those of you who watch the news and get discouraged, I'm asking you to change your perspective, switch out your lenses, and view the news as an opportunity to search for solutions. And then position your business to be the implementation or carrier of that source of solution. Now, someone is saying this morning, Luciana, that's easier said than done. And that's right. It is easier to say I'm the solution than to implement the solution. And you know why? I'm going to give you a second to tell me why. It is easier to say you're the solution than to be the solution because of all the negative thoughts that just came into your mind. Now, for every negative thought that just came into your mind, those negative thoughts is how you're going to frame your position statement to deliver your solution. You see how we did that? I just gave you the first 2-3 steps to how you're going to position yourself to be the solution. You can position yourself to be the solution to any problem there is. And I just gave you the first 2-3 steps. I just gave you the first 2-3 steps to positioning yourself to be the solution. So now go back, listen to the replay, and take those steps that I just gave you and run with it. And then continue it on. Every point, every statement, every whatever that's out here, there's a solution to it. Now, the funny thing is, every solution then creates a new problem, but that's okay. It's a good thing. Because as we know, as we go to the next level creates a new problem. And not all problems are bad. It just means that we have a new need. When I started walking again, I had a need for something else. So the new need wasn't bad. It just meant I was at a new level. That's all that means. So stop looking at problems as being bad or that you didn't do your job. It just means you took your client to the next level. Levels to this thing. There will never be, or there never should be, a one and done. It should just be a constant evolution. Now, you may not be the final destination for your client. Just like I'm not the final destination for most of my clients. However, 90% of my clients will come back to me at various stages, at various points. And we will have an ongoing and continuous relationship. And I will refer them to others. And I will get referred back. Symbiotic relationships. But it's all in the way we view it. I look at my window and I see coverage, but I never see that my view is blocked. I see opportunity. I see beauty. I see abundance. What do you see when you hear about congressional hearings? When you listen to the news? When you hear political pundits speak? And are you positioning or weighing them against the services that you offer? When you meet another business owner, are you positioning your business against their business in terms of how you can partner or potentially partner? When you attend government events, are you positioning the information that you're receiving against your business offerings from the perspective of how you can be a solution? The government tells you ad nauseum what they're looking for. Are you constantly weighing in saying how you can be the solution? So this morning's session is short, and I want to leave you with an open-ended question. How are you positioning yourself to be the solution? I'm Luciana Turner, your host. Join me tomorrow morning for another installment of Contractor's Chatter. Remember, starting June 1st, Chatter will stream exclusively from LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you may want to hop over there. The link is in the description. Set the notifications to go off so that you know when I go live. I will host a few master classes in the coming months. I see a need for it. Some questions that have come up, I think, that deserve a master class or two. One of which delves into the cycle of government contracting. I think that will address overarching the questions that I've been receiving. And a master class, I'm gonna revive a master class I did on the procurement process. Those two master classes are coming out, and those master classes registration links will come out shortly. So be on the lookout for those. Those will address they're combining questions that I receive. Those two master classes will. The contractors intensive is being rescheduled just due to scheduling conflicts. Good morning. I had to reschedule due to something with the hotel, and then that led to scheduling conflict with my facilitators. So I'm rescheduling the contractors intensive. We're still holding it. I'm just rescheduling it. However, I'm having a smaller event in September. So be on the lookout for that. So I have two master classes, a smaller day and a half event coming out. So LT&A Consulting Group is coming out with a list of things. I am being a resource to those in government contracting. So if you wish to see something in particular, send me a message. Excuse me. Send me a message. All of previous chatter episodes are on my YouTube channel, because I'm getting ready to come through and clean my Facebook profiles and my LinkedIn profile. So all previous episodes are on my YouTube channel. You can go there, deep dive, and binge. I have new content coming out on my podcast, new interviews, because all of my facilitators who are still excited to facilitate for you, I'm interviewing all of them. It's not a sneak peek to their content. It's just an interview of who they are and why you should still come to the intensive. And basically, we had this conversation yesterday, for those who missed it, of incomplete conversations, and why why they just want to do the intensive in the first place. So I'm releasing that through the podcast and snippets through chatter. That's how I'm doing that. So I'm busy, but I will always be here 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with a little bit of legislation, a little bit contracting, training, some business insight, and a whole host of transformational information. Excuse me, am open to anyone have questions, because a lot of my content also comes from questions I receive. So if you have questions or something in particular you want me to address, you can email me, DM me, post it in the comments. And I'm always up for a good discussion. I don't argue, but I am up for a good discussion. So post in the comments. If you disagree with something I've said, post that in the comment as well. Anybody who's ever worked with me knows I'm good for a good pushback. So with that, I am signing off for this morning. So if you're just signing on, just watch the replay. I'll be back at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you